All right, welcome everybody to Coffee with Markus. Today is May 13th, and this is episode 37 of Coffee with Markets. And today, the markets are moving again. So this morning, Fed Chairman Powell was speaking, and he started to move the markets. And shortly after this, we had a Trump tweet that added to what is happening right now in the market. So, of course, we'll take a look at what is happening here. I have an update for you on the PowerX optimizer. So if you already own PowerX optimizer, I will give you something really cool today, show you something that we have done, the update that you have been waiting for. And today we're going to talk about how to select the best broker, because I promise you that I will open another brokerage account live here on Coffee with Markus. And the question is, with whom do we open an account? Currently, I have 8 different trading accounts, and I decided to open another one. I haven't decided yet how much money we put into this. You know what? Why don't we decide this together? Anyhow, just want to make sure before we get started and start looking at the markets and what is happening here right now that you can hear me, that you can see me. If the sound is good, if the video is good, give me a quick thumbs up. This way I know that we are in good shape to get started. Good. Everybody has their coffee and ready. I have my coffee and I am ready for you. All right, so let's jump in and let's see what is happening in the markets here right now. So today, the Dow right now is down 2.7%. The S&P is down 2.5%. The NASDAQ is down 2.1%. So what is happening? Why the markets are down? Well, let's take a look at an intraday chart here so that we see what happened here since we have been trading this morning. So this is where markets open, and as you can see, ever since they opened, they have been in free fall. And right now we're going into the last 30 minutes of trading, so we'll see what happens. But what exactly is driving the markets here today? Well, this morning, Fed Chairman Powell was speaking, and he said that the scope and the speed of this current economic downturn are significantly worse than any recession since World War II. Now, this is not what traders want to hear, right? That we have a worse downturn than any other recession since World War II. So that, of course, didn't help. And then shortly thereafter, there was a tweet from President Trump who said, as I've said, for a long time, dealing with China is a very expensive thing to do. Just made a great trade deal. But the world was hit by the plague from China. 100 trade deals wouldn't make up the difference, and all those innocent lives lost. So traders interpreted this like, hey, we might not stick to the trade deal that was done there, and this is what is causing this uncertainty in the markets. This is why today we see a down day again. We already had one yesterday. So looking here, you know that the Dow has been between the support at 22,550 and the resistance at 24,250, and we're right dead smack in there again. So looking at the VIX, whenever the markets are going down and we have uncertainty like this, I mean, when the chairman of the Fed says, well, this is really, really bad right now, and then we see President Trump tweeting something like this, there's uncertainty in the market. What means uncertainty? It means that the VIX, the volatility index, is jumping up. Today, it is jumping up 11%. Hey, however, as you know, right now, we did take some trades according to the PowerX optimizer, and this trade is turning out really, really well. So EQT is the trade that we entered yesterday. So we entered yesterday at 1307, right now at 1235. And as you can see, it is marching towards the first profit target. So that's the good news. You can make money in a market that is going up. You can make money in a market that is going down. And as you have seen over the past few weeks, we have been making money in a market that has been this crazy as it has been here right now. So this is what's happening right now. Is this making sense? So again, in a few moments, we will talk about how to select the best broker, because I promised you to open an account live here together with you to walk you through the account opening process. I want to make sure that so far we're good. The first few minutes here in Coffee with Markus are always meant to get you up to speed of what is happening in the markets, right? And again, I trade what I see, not what I think, right? So I just see that today Powell and Trump are moving the markets, and they are moving the markets down. So this is what we see. I am in a short position, and I'm liking it thus far. So this short position is turning out really, really good. Okay, now as promised, for those of you, if you do have PowerX Optimizer, 2 days ago in Coffee with Markus, we have been talking about the update. In the update, I wanted to make sure that we're excluding this crazy times here. And let me just zoom in a little bit. This is, there we go, what we have been doing. So if you opened your PowerX Optimizer today, you see that it has been upgraded to the latest version. I'm not showing the screen. There we go. Okay. So this PowerX Optimizer, if you already own PowerX Optimizer, it has automatically been upgraded to the latest version 1.5. You should see a banner on top. If you don't see this banner, just hit refresh. And this way you know that this now includes this COVID cutout. This is how we have named it. So that you see during these crazy times, whatever stock you're looking at, we are not considering the trades that are happening during this crazy time. Now, I talked about this probably 2 Coffee with Markus ago in episode 35, right? Why we are doing this. This is when I talked about backtesting, and it is super important that when you're backtesting, you're doing it the right way. So there are 3 things that I mentioned is important. One of them is that you make sure that you're testing it on relevant data. And I do not believe that the last few weeks were relevant because it's not happening every day. I mean, it happened last time in 2008, 11, 12 years ago almost, right? So this is why I want to make sure. Okay, this makes sense. This is helpful. So let me just see what comments you have because I enjoy reading your comments. So good to see everybody. And so there's a possibility to sell some puts. Yes, actually this morning with the mastermind, we did sell a few puts. So we sold puts on American Airlines and on car. So these are the puts that we have going on here right now. March is asking, on TradingView, how do you make these horizontal lines blue? Very easy. Let me show you this right now, and then we're going to talk about the best brokerage. So these horizontal lines, how do you get them on the screen? Well, as you can see here, right here, you have a horizontal line. And you can plot this horizontal line wherever you want. And if yours is not blue, just double click on it. And this is where you see the style. You can choose any color. You can make them nice and purple if you want, if you choose to do so. You can make it green. You can make it blue. You can make it any color you want. Okay, so super easy to do this. I prefer blue, navy blue. I usually prefer black, as you know, but hey, here I thought blue is just fine. All right, so I see that there's a few other questions, and want to make sure that we are jumping in this before we talk about how to select the best broker. So Sakib is asking, I tried shorting EQM from the optimizer, but TD didn't have any shares. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So when we select a broker with whom we want to open an account, we need to look at some criteria. I will show you my criteria. You might have different criteria, but I think that my criteria are helpful. And one of the criteria, Sakib, is it possible to easily short stocks? So we will take a look at this in just a moment. So Wayne says, thanks for the upgrade. Of course, that's what we are here for. That's what we have been working on. Glad that you already have it. Okay, so Don Bosco is asking, what is the difference between the straddle and strangle strategy? Are both of the strategy for buying options in and out of the money? As we get closer to the strangle strategy, this is where I like to trade strangles into earnings. I will explain more about this. But right now, earnings season is over. Almost 90% of the companies, or I think even more than 90% of the companies, have already reported earnings. So right now we cannot use the strategy, but I will cover this in one of the upcoming videos. So Andreas, continue with selling strangles. Right now I'm trading both. I'm trading stocks and options according to the PowerX strategy, and thus far it's working great. I entered a trade yesterday, and thus far it's nicely in the green. And yes, since the VIX is above 30, there are still some opportunities to sell options. And this is exactly what we are looking for. So Alvaro is asking, are we ready to use PXO even if VIX is above 30? You see, this week, let's take a look at the VIX here again, because it has been hovering right around the 30 level. And so I'll keep an eye on it. Honestly, today it jumped up pretty high. I didn't expect it. So yesterday, yeah, I mean, it's normal that we have a down day, so VIX was slightly higher. But overall, if you take a look at the VIX here, you see that it has been in a downtrend, right? So you see, we have been in a downtrend. So right now, I want to see, are we still staying up there? Because if so, I might not trade according to PowerX Optimizer anymore. This morning, I found a trade on CAL, C-A-L. Tried to enter it, but the markets were going down. This was a long trade. So I'm still looking at it right now, but I'm also keeping an eye on the VIX. So Alvaro, great question. And right now I'm doing both, if this helps. Okay. So let's see. Gary's asking, when you sell a put like AAL or CAR, does the market pay you up front or after expiration? You get the premium right away, and now you have to defend it, right? So this is the fun part, actually, for me, that you first get the premium, and now you have to make sure that you can keep it. Only when the option expires or when you close it, you know where you end with the trade. Anyhow. Good. So Jody says, I placed a trade with PowerX this morning and a buy on CAL, and I'm already out. Now, Jody, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you something really, really quick. And I decided to do a special training on Monday. So next Monday, in a few days from now, May 17th probably, I don't know. I'll give you the date. So next Monday, I'll show you exactly how I use the tool to find the best stocks and options to trade, because you have asked about it and I'll be happy to do this. But let's just quickly take a look at this. So PowerX. So when you're looking at CAL for today, which actually looked pretty good, you see that PowerX Optimizer says buy to open it at $7.35. So only buy it. Let me actually share the screen here in just a moment. There we go. Okay, so you look at KL and you get the exact information from PowerX Optimizer. Buy to open at $7.35, meaning it has to go above $7.35. Now let's take a look at CAL here for today. So it's very important. I mean, when you apply a trading strategy, that you really do it in such a way as it is intended. Now, as you can see, I set my alarm this morning. This is the dotted orange line here. That I was ready to buy as soon as it moves above $7.35. And look at this, Jody. It never, ever did it. So PowerX Optimizer gave you very specific instructions of what to do. Buy to open at 7:35, and then you see this never happened today. So if you're right now down or out of the stock, is because you didn't really follow the instructions. And that's an important lesson when you apply any trading strategy. Make sure that you know exactly what are the rules of the strategy. And Jody, it's not just for you, it's for everybody. So I'm glad that you're asking it, because I'm using this as an example to explain how important it is to completely understand the rules of the strategy. Because if you do not apply the rules of the strategy, if you do something against the rules of the strategy, then the strategy, of course, won't work. Is this making sense? All right. Now, we will have more questions that I answer here in just a minute, but I want to talk about how to select the best broker. And in order to do this, I am going to full camera, because this is a segment that I think would be worth for Asia to edit out, because this way you can look at it later on again, because we're talking about the best broker in 2020. All right, let's get started. So what is the best brokerage when you want to trade stocks and options? Who is the best online broker, especially right now in 2020? Well, this is what we're going to talk about in this video. I currently have multiple accounts with multiple brokers, and I decided to open one more trading account. I haven't opened a trading account in probably 3 or 4 years. I think it has been 3 or 4 years since I opened my last account. So I thought it might be worth looking around. What brokers do we have in the market right now? Establish some criteria, which are my criteria, compare the different brokerages, and then together here, open an account with one of the brokers that I choose. Are you ready to get started? Let's dive right into it. So I'm going to share my screen here, because here is how I personally like to pick a broker. I have certain criteria here that are important for me. Now, again, For you, it might be completely different. Feel free to model it according to my criteria, but every trading style is different. So for you, some other criteria might be important, but I want to show you what is important to me. I like to play the markets, both sides, to the upside and the downside. So I need to make sure that my broker allows me to easily short stocks, meaning that I can sell stocks that I don't own. So this way I can bet on a falling market. Now also, as you know, I like to trade options. And yes, I like to sell naked calls and puts. So therefore, it is very important that the broker allows me to do that, because it doesn't make sense if I have a strategy that says, well, right now I should sell some puts, and then the broker says, oh, you can't do this, right? Then the broker is useless for me. Might still be good for you, but for me it is useless. Now, I like to trade on margin. Leverage is a double-edged sword. It can work in your favor as well as against you. For me personally, I've been trading for a long time. I like to leverage my accounts, so I like to trade margin accounts, and therefore it is important the margin interest rates. How much money do I pay based on the money that the broker lends me? Also, I want to understand the margin impact. This is the next one. So it means when you put on a trade, how much of your buying power is being taken out of the account? Because whenever you put on a trade, your buying power is reduced. So I want to easily understand how much is actually being reserved for one particular trade. Now then, of course, commissions. And commissions these days are very, very easy because most brokers offer zero commissions. However, when you look behind the scenes, you might notice that not every single broker, it is really $0. So we'll look at this. And for me, since I like to trade size, I wanted to compare apples to apples, and I want to see how much are the commissions if I would trade 50 options. So this is my criteria. The next criteria is how easy is it to use the platform. So, and this is where everybody is different, right? It's like driving a car. Which is the better car, a Beamer or a Mercedes, right? I mean, everybody has a different opinion on this. I personally like driving my Tesla. Anyhow, so this personal opinion here, how easy is it to use the platform? Live data feed. Is it included? Do I get live data for free, or do I have to pay for this? It's usually not a lot. It's like $10, $15, $20, but hey, if you're comparing different brokers, we might as well. Now, the customer service, because when you have a problem, you want to be able to call and say, I do have a problem. And the last is that I will give you an overall rating. Now, the 4 brokerages that I chose to select for this test here is TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, WeBull, and TastyWorks. Now, Interactive Brokers, I already have an account with Interactive Brokers. So I'm using Interactive Brokers more or less as a reference for me if it is actually worth. There we go. If it is worth opening an account with a different broker, or if I should just open another account with Interactive Brokers. So let's go down through the list. Now, do you see a little asterisks here? So most of the stuff that I'm filling in here are according to my experience and research. And a lot of this stuff is just my opinion. So if I'm getting something wrong, don't sue me, right? I mean, this is based on my best knowledge. Now, TD Ameritrade, in order to short stocks, I looked at 4 different stocks. In fact, this is where my head coach, Mark Hodge, helped me tremendously. So a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing here with you, Mark has researched for me, and we looked at it together. Now, before we get started here, is this making sense thus far? I mean, the criteria that I listed here, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 criteria. These are my criteria, but we have to somehow evaluate a broker and not just say, oh yeah, let's open an account with TD Ameritrade. They are the best. So let me know if this is helpful thus far before we fill out the table, because if it is, give me a quick thumbs up, give me a quick like, because this way I know that you're enjoying this video, and I will do more of these videos. Okay, so TD Ameritrade, easy to short stocks. Mark and I looked at 4 stocks, SPCE, CGC, AAL, and CAA to short. And out of these 4 stocks, TD Ameritrade said to 2 of these stocks, nope, can't do this. They're so-called hard to borrow. Now, when they're hard to borrow, you need to have at least $100,000 in order to short them and some additional criteria. So easy to short stocks, I must say, TD Ameritrade was a no for me. Because out of 4 stocks, if half of the stocks are actually not easy to short, then that is a no. Okay, sell naked calls and puts on TD Ameritrade. Yes, you can sell naked calls and puts. They allow you to do this. You have to qualify, but it is possible. So let's see. The next is margin interest rate. When you trade on margin, currently, based on my research, 9.25% is the margin interest rate at TD Ameritrade. So this is the amount of money that you're being charged when you use margin for a particular trade. Understanding margin impact. Super easy with TD Ameritrade. They'll tell you right away how much impact a trade has on your margin account. Commissions for 50 options. So this is where it gets interesting. TD Ameritrade charges 65 cents. Let me actually write this down here. So actually, no, we can put it in here. It's 65 cents per contract per trade. Now, if you open and close an option position, this would be $1.30. So therefore, here, the commission for 30 options is $1.30 times 50 options, and that is supposed to be $1.30. $1.30 times 50 equals, let's just see, $1.30 times 50. So it would be $65. So $65, and let's just write it in here, to trade 50 options, open and close it here. Okay, so platform, ease of use, I think it is okay. It's a very powerful platform, and you have to learn how to use it. So it's not super intuitive. Now, in terms of live data feed, yes, it is free with a funded account. The customer service, based on what I have heard, is great. Okay, so we will come to an overall rating here in just a moment. Is this helpful thus far? You want me to continue to go down the line so that you see which broker I will pick? So if you like this, you know the drill. Click on like really quick. Interactive brokers, easy to short stocks, super easy. Thus far, I've been shorting a lot of stocks. Not a single time has Interactive Broker said, no, you can't do this. Every single time I wanted to short the stocks, it did it. Sell naked calls and puts? Yes, absolutely. The margin interest rate, only 1.55%. So definitely way cheaper than TD Ameritrade. Margin impact. How easy is it to know when I put on a trade, how this impacts my account size, my margin? I want to say not that easy. Rather difficult. They don't make it easy. Trust me on this one. The commissions for 50 options here, exactly the same as TD Ameritrade. It is 65 cents to buy, 65 cents to sell, and you're doing this per contract. So here also, in order to trade 50 contracts, it would be $65. Platform easy of use, I want to say no. I got used to it. I've been using them since 1999, but if you're new to interactive brokers, I don't think it's very intuitive. So it's rather difficult to use the platform. Live data feed, you have to pay for it, okay? You need to pay for it if you want to have live data when trading. Customer service, based on my experience, and again, this is where you have the disclaimer here, according to my experience and research, all of this is just my opinion, but it's pretty poor. I only contacted them 3 times, and during these 3 times, in the live chat, I was on the live chat for 45 minutes. When I tried to call them, I was waiting for 22 minutes. So that really didn't help. Now, WeBull is a new kid on the block. So it's a rather new brokerage. I don't know, has been around for 2 or 3 years. Very aggressively right now pushing into the market. So WeBull, is it easy to short stocks? Again, based on these examples, yes, they were easy to short on WeBull here, no problem. So sell naked calls and puts, level 2 and 3, not yet. So they said it is coming, they said it is coming in the next few months, but right now, they don't have the level 3 and 4, which for me personally is really important because I like to sell calls and I like to sell puts. The margin interest rate on WeBull here, 6.99%. a little bit higher than Interactive Brokers, and yet lower than TD Ameritrade. Understanding margin impact here. It was okay. So it's not easy, it's not difficult, it is okay. So at least from my perspective. So I just see that some of you have problems with the blue font. You know what, let me just choose a different font here. Should be fairly easy to do that. Somewhere here, let's just use, how is that? Is that better? Easier to read? Thanks for the feedback, appreciate it. So here we go. Now you see, hopefully better. Okay, the commission for 50 options here on WeBull, based on my research and based on what I saw, $0. So that is pretty good. So they have a different way to make money, but based on what I saw, it doesn't have a major impact. Platform easy use. I looked at it, and to me, it looks super easy, or very easy. I'd just say very easy. Again, they're the new kid on the block. They have developed their platform from scratch, and I think they did a really, really good job. Live data feed, not quite sure. So haven't been able to find this out. Based on my research, I don't know if I have to pay for it or if it is free. Customer service, I haven't had a chance to deal with them at all, and I haven't heard from anybody who has used WeBull and what they think about their customer support. So therefore, I really don't have an opinion here. Now, TastyWorks is the last one. TastyWorks, a platform developed from Tom Sosnoff and his team, the same guy who brought you ThinkorSwim. So easy to short stocks on TastyWorks? Yes. So when Mark and I looked into it, Mark figured out that yes, we could easily short all these 4 stocks that we were looking for. Selling naked calls and puts? Yes, absolutely. This was possible. The margin interest rate, 8%. So again, it's in between, not as cheap as Interactive Brokers, not as expensive as TD Ameritrade. Understanding marketing impact, super easy. Super easy here. I actually want to call it super easy on TastyWorks, which I like a lot, because when you put on a trade, you want to know how does it impact your overall buying power on the account. Commission for 50 options. So this is very, very interesting. According to their business model, they want to attract larger traders because they say, okay, it is 65 cents, so very similar to TD Ameritrade and Interactive Brokers, but it is capped at $10. So you never pay more than $10 in commissions, which I think is great. So it's not free as WeBull, and it's not as expensive as TD Ameritrade and Interactive Brokers. So it's $10 for 50 options. I love it. Platform ease of use, based on what I've seen, it's fairly easy. You have to get used to it. It's not as complicated as TD Ameritrade. I believe it is a little bit easier. And TD Ameritrade, again, is ThinkorSwim. So I like it. Maybe not as easy as WeBull, but I want to say rating it here, it's in between. Live data feed, yes, it's included. So when you open and fund an account with them, they do offer you the live data feed for free. And customer service, based on what I've heard, again, I haven't had a chance to interact with them, but based on what I've heard, it's good. So this is feedback that I got from viewers like you who said, hey, I'm with TastyWorks and they are doing great. By the way, if you have any experience with any of these brokers, do me a favor and leave a comment below. Let me know how these guys are doing, what your experiences are. So in a moment, we will go through this and I'll give you my final verdict. And I'll let you know with whom I'm planning to open an account. But again, is this helpful thus far? Do me a favor. If it is, click a quick thumbs up or just type a yes in the comments. This way, I know which videos are useful for you. I know that this right now is a little bit a longer video, but I want to be as thorough as possible when comparing different brokerages. Now, there's a reason why I chose these 4. These are either the 4 that are most popular right now or that looked really, really intriguing for me. By no means I'm trying to compare every single broker out there. So please, Fidelity might be great, Schwab might be great, but I focused on these 4. This makes sense? All right, so let's jump back and give you the final verdict of what I think here. So if I had a choice, TD Ameritrade here, or actually, yeah, let's actually look at this. Interactive brokers, the customer service is poor, but I don't need much of their customer service. The commissions are fair. The $65 if you're going with their pro version. I believe if you're going with their light version, it might actually be free. The margin interest is really, really low. So I must say, for me, Interactive Brokers comes in at a solid 3. And I know this is not the font that we wanted to use. So we're going to change the font to make sure that everybody can read it just fine. And so this is, for me, based on my opinion, a solid 3rd place. Now, TD Ameritrade, here is why, for me personally, they're coming on 4th place. They're coming in on 4th place because they still have quite a lot in commissions, and it is not easy to short stocks. And for me and my trading style, that is important. Now, earlier, somebody mentioned that he tried to take a trade that I did this morning, and he's with TD Ameritrade and got rejected. There's nothing worse than having a great trading strategy, having a great trade, and then your broker says, oh no, you can't do this. This is when it's time to switch brokers. So this is why they're coming in here on 4th place. Now, WeBull, I really liked what I saw. Zero commissions, of course, are very attractive. The ease to short stocks, yes, the very ease of the platform. So I really, really, really do like them. However, this here is the sticking point. And here's what I'm going to do. I am going to mark the sticky point. So this is why at this point, and this is the background color here. Let me just do this. So this is why right now I'm not opening an account with WeBull. Now, once they offer level 3 and 4, which supposedly is a little bit later in 2020, I might actually open an account with them because I'm very intrigued by the platform. I'm very intrigued by what I saw thus far. So this leaves, ta-da-da-da, drum roll, TastyWorks as my #1 pick. And again, this is my personal selection. So TastyWorks, based on what I see, easy to short stocks, easy to sell naked calls and puts, super easy to understand the platform, pretty good here in margin requirement. The commissions are good, and everything that I see here, for me, this TastyWorks, and I'm highlighting this in green, there we go, is the winner. Is this helpful for you? And here's the deal. So over the next few days, I will open an account with TastyWorks live here on this channel. So if you would like to see how I open the account with them, what exactly their account opening process is, what their platform looks like, make sure that you're subscribing to this channel right now and hit the little notification bell, because this way you get notified whenever I release a new video, and you don't want to miss the next video when I actually open an account with them. I'll see how quickly I get approved. They don't know that I'm planning to open an account with them. So that's a cool thing. So I'll see how quickly I get approved. I'll see how easy or difficult it is to open an account with them. And then I'll wire some money in there. And this is where, you know what, why don't you leave a comment and let me know how much money you want me to wire in there. If you want me to wire in there $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, right? I mean, just leave a comment right now and let me know how much you would like me to see to trade this account with. And again, there's just one of my 8 accounts, so this will be account number 9. Anyhow, hope you find this helpful. If you did, click on like, subscribe to the channel, and there's probably some videos popping up right now. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love any of these videos. Click on the one that you like best, and I'll see you in the next video. All right. I do believe that this went a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to be thorough. Has this been helpful? Just want to see. Here are all your questions and comments. And I just want to see which questions and comments we have. Okay. So I see about the wiring in. Wayne says $200 million. I usually don't keep that much in a trading account. I like to keep a maximum of maybe around 500,000 in a trading account, because if you can make 60%, 100% on this, you're looking at an income between 300,000 to 500,000, right? And I don't know about your lifestyle. I do that. And as you know, I also invest in real estate. So there's another source of income for me. Okay. Eduardo says $2. I wire more than $2. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Okay. So Vivette is asking, is TD Ameritrade the same as TOS? Yes. TOS, ThinkorSwim, is the platform of TD Ameritrade. So Vivette, great question. That's why I don't like that it's not easy to short stocks here. Okay. So Randall is asking, are you talking about 5 contracts or 50 contracts? I'm talking about 50 contracts because that's usually the size that I'm trading. I'm trading sometimes 20, sometimes 30, 50 most frequently, then maybe sometimes 70. So this is why I want to see for my trading size. And again, for you, it might be different. But for my trading size, I'm talking about 50 options contracts. And BF says, they rejected me. Who rejected you? TastyWorks? Well, if they rejected you, let's see if they accept me. We'll see. We'll open it together if you like it. Okay, Alvaro says TastyWorks is very complicated to use. You know what? We are going to find out together. How about that? Because I'll open an account, you will see the platform, and if I think it is too complicated, trust me, I'll switch brokers like this. After all, this 2020. You can wire the money back the next day. You can close the account, and hey, if I think it's too complicated, I will do exactly this. So let's see. Brian is saying, I've been using TD Ameritrade for years, but never used TOS. I do believe that TOS ThinkorSwim is a really cool interface. So if you are with TD Ameritrade, you might want to look into this. It's a learning curve. It's very powerful, super powerful, and therefore it has a learning curve. Okay. So BF says, ThinkorSwim is difficult. WeBull has a lot of restrictions. I haven't seen a lot of restrictions on WeBull just yet. And again, I'm intending to open an account with them later this year if they allow me to sell naked calls and puts. So as soon as they offer level 3 and 4, I will open an account with them and I'll keep you posted. If you want to. I mean, you let me know. If you want me to keep you posted, leave a comment, right? If I'm ever open an account with WeBull. But right now, the next steps are open an account with TastyWorks. Kalina says, TD Ameritrade is super complicated transferring money. I don't know. I don't think they are, but hey, this is exactly what we're going to find out with TastyWorks here. Okay. So, Stan says, I've been with TD since 1990. Excellent service, but I didn't know the margin rate was so high. Yeah, it is. If you look up the website, that's exactly what it is. So Wayne is asking, as a matter of interest, do they all have good mobile device versions? Not quite sure. And honestly, that is not that important to me because when I trade, I want to make sure that I see everything I want to see. And honestly, on my phone, I can't see a darn thing. I'm getting too old. See, I'm already 50 years old. And on my phone, I don't have enough data. So for me, that is not a criteria, but you see, Wayne, this is why I wanted to give you here my criteria. And for you, it would be easy to add another criteria and say, okay, do they all have great mobile platforms? Because if that's important to you, by all means, add it as a criteria here. Okay, Richard says, I love TastyWorks. One thing is that TOS does provide a demo account. TastyWorks does not do that yet. I believe that is true. I believe that right now they are not offering. This is why we're opening it live. Then you can see me placing trades on their account and you can decide whether this is helpful for you or not. Okay, good. So Edward is asking, what differences are there in minimum deposit? Edward, it's a great question. I believe all of them require $2,000 as a minimum, maybe even less. I'm not planning to fund it with $2,000. I'm planning to put at least $10,000 into this. So for me, that's not a major criteria. But Edward, again, if this is a criteria for you, so feel free to add it and then do some quick research. Very easy to find out the minimum account requirements. So anyhow, just thought that, again, use these criteria that I'm showing you here as a starting point and feel free to add your own criteria, whatever else is important to you. Good. Does any opinion on TradeStation? I have used TradeStation many years ago. Right now, they haven't been on my radar recently. I do believe that at some point they got bought by a Chinese company. again, based on my best knowledge. And it hasn't been the same ever since. So anyhow, good. So let's see, there's a few more comments and we have a few more minutes before the coffee gets cold. So is this helpful at all? You know the drill. If it is helpful, do me a favor, click on like. I'm a little bit surprised. That's right now I see 103 likes. And again, you know me, I'm not here to chase likes. Only like it if you really enjoy this video, because this way I know what kind of videos you want me to do for you. And I will cover these topics in a Coffee with Markus Live. So if opening a brokerage account is not interesting for you, that's absolutely fine. Then we'll not talk about it. So I don't have to open this here in front of you. I thought it would be interesting, but you help me decide. You have the power. You vote, right? You vote with your likes. So the more likes a video gets, the more I will pursue that topic, whatever video, whatever topic I did there. So my team helps me to say, okay, these videos were most popular. Do more of these. And I will. Anyhow. Good. So there are a few things regarding account size, and I see that it's anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000. So I will count your answers. Again, you are in control here. You can tell me how much you want. If you want $10,000, I'll put $10,000 in there. If you prefer $25,000, I'll put $25,000 in there. Anyhow. Okay, Kushal is saying, oh, TastyWorks went gold. For now, I mean, based on what I see. So have you decided to close IB? No, I'm using both. I'm just thinking about opening an additional account. You see, for me personally, it's not a big deal to put $10,000 or $25,000 in an account. For me, that is a rather small account to play around with. And I will definitely keep Interactive Brokers open. This is where I have my main account and several other accounts. But great question. Good. Jason said $15,000 is cool, but if you have more, I do have more. I can do more. Okay. So Ram, can you share today's trades? Yes, today we sold American Airlines. Let me just see. American Airlines, I believe it was let me see what kind of put it was. American Airlines, the 6.5 put. The 6.5 put, that is the one that we sold today. I mean, right now we only have a few more minutes. I'll be happy to show you all the trades again tomorrow. I just today wanted to go through the broker because I promised it to you. I promised that I will compare different brokers, that I will decide on a broker, and I appreciate all your input that you gave me regarding brokers to look at. Okay, so Diesel says, saved us a bunch of research. Well, again, this is my opinion. If you have some other criteria, it makes sense to do a little bit of more research. But you see, if you like to trade the way I trade, that you like to short stocks, and that you also like to sell naked calls and puts, right now, TD Ameritrade might not be the best choice. Unless you put more than $100,000 into it, then there are some possibilities to short stocks, hard to borrow stocks here. Okay, good. Mark says, I have great experience with the TastyWorks customer service. Okay, great. So good to know. That's what I heard. I heard their customer service is good. It might be great, but yeah. Jody says, interested to hear about real estate in a different session. I'll be happy to share what I'm doing. I'll be happy to share what I'm currently looking at, what I'm currently buying, what I'm currently selling. So if that's of interest to you, I'll be happy to do this. Okay, Wayne is saying, I use E-Trade right now. Any thoughts on this, guys? Haven't really investigated it. Here's the cool thing, Wayne. You can actually use this spreadsheet, right? And then add, if these criteria make sense to you, you could easily add another column here and say E-Trade and just write down, based on your experience, what you think about it. This is why I wrote down Interactive Brokers, so I can shade this in yellow actually, because that is the broker that I currently have. So this is based on my experience, based on what I currently do. So you can absolutely do this, but this is why right now, I thought it would be fun to open another trading account here. Okay. So Monica says, please keep us informed. Will do. Will do. All right. Wow, time is flying when you're having fun, doesn't it? I mean, can you imagine? 45 minutes already over. It goes that quick. Anyhow, so very excited about meeting you here again, as always. And I'll be back tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Time, same place, same time, right here on YouTube. Have a great rest of the day. And maybe tomorrow we look at trades, or maybe tomorrow we start the account opening process. We'll see, right? I mean, whatever is most interesting to you, or we could actually do both. What do you think about this? Okay, talk soon. I'll see you tomorrow.